Noel Durity, and I'm here seeking $225,000 for 15% stake in my company, Twisted Up Combs. Twisted Up Combs allows people with Afrocentric hair to wake up and embrace their natural twists. Now, if you don't have Afrocentric hair, you may not realize that hundreds of millions of people struggle with this every day. But not anymore. Twisted Up Combs is here to help you style and profile.
What's going on? Episode number 3 of Building While Black on the Droppin Knowledge Network. This is your favorite guy host, Knowledge Beckham, and today we have another amazing episode. We have my man, King Noel Durity. You just saw a little clip from his performance and his appearance on Shark Tank. How you doing, King?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. We appreciate you coming aboard. And we just launched this podcast a few weeks ago. And the goal of the podcast was to talk to entrepreneurs like yourself who end up taking a product, an idea, and then building a business out of it. And so I guess before we get into the Shark Tank and we get to where the business is today, kind of talk about your upbringing. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? And did you have any entrepreneurial influences as a young person growing up?
Yeah, man. So I'm from an island called Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, sir.
Dad comes from a family of 10. And I'm pretty sure at least 6 or 7 of them are entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow. Wow. So that's so it caught you pretty early then. So you pretty much, as you were growing up, did you always know that essentially it wasn't going to be about a 9 to 5 for you? It was going to be about some sort of business creation?
I knew whatever I was doing, I was going to hustle. I was going to work really hard, make the best of my situation. By the time I was 21, I've had like 17 jobs. I've just always been in that island mindset of go get it, right? You get one life, you're the director. It's up to you to take control of that movie film. So at a very young age, I made a conscious decision to sacrifice my 20s so that when I get to my mid 30s and 40s, I can reap the benefits of that hard work.
That's dope. So when you came to the States, where did you grow up? Where did you actually grow up at? What city, what state?
Yeah, so I came here when I was 4 into Corona, California, in the Inland Empire. I was raised there, grew up there, out to Orange County, went to college out there, dropped out, and just been hustling ever since, man. It's pretty much a standard story of being an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
Go to school, not for you, and find a different path. Take the one less traveled by.
Yes, sir. So when you started to think about, you dropped out of college, you started to think, I'm sure, probably about different ideas, et cetera. How did you come upon this idea of Twisted Up?
This came out of a birth of necessity for me. So I was doing real estate. I still do real estate. That's like the thing that I love. Real estate and mortgages is the one thing that I can say I'm an expert in.
Okay.
Most so mortgages than real estate. And I was doing very well in 2015 and 2016. To the fact that I decided to travel. And at the time in the West Coast, right, most Black males in the corporate world have their hair short, some type of texturizer, but I was trying to find a way to wear my hair naturally outside an afro or braids or dreadlocks that would be work acceptable.
Right.
And I came across just this contraption everyone's heard of, like a curl sponge, and how to do your hair.
Right.
And I was like, oh, like this is dope. Like, does this really work? And I started using it. And my hair is very thick, it's very coarse. And what happened was that I started going to them like left and right. Like I started spending way too much money. And I was trying to find a better way to get this done. And it turns out a tennis racket works. So as I was making more money, I started traveling, and it was really hard for me to put a tennis racket into a suitcase and take it on an airplane. So long story short, I went to Brazil, and my boy and I, we went walking up and down the strip trying to find a tennis racket. Couldn't find one until like 2 hours later. So when I came home, I said enough was enough. I gotta figure out a way to shrink it. It's 2016. There has to be a way to find a small tennis racket. Go on Google, can't find it. Go on, start watching TV, and I came across this thing called 3D printing, and then I started Googling it. And next minute I know, just a couple more searches on the Google bar, going on Craigslist, hiring a CAD drawer, and I created the first ever twisted up clone.
Wow, that's an amazing story, bro. So so you created this. So how much did you know about, was that your first time that you actually created a product, or did you have some sort of experience and know-how? Zero, huh? So what was—
I tell people this. I don't understand why the human brain wants to overcomplicate things. I live in a world where there is Google and there is YouTube. I literally Google and YouTube everything. All I did was type into a Google search bar, small tennis racket for sale, miniature tennis racket for sale, tennis rackets for small people. Nothing came up. So then I Googled how to shrink a tennis racket, shrinking a racquetball cone, make a tennis racket smaller. Nothing came up. And it wasn't until I was watching TV and I came across 3D printing. Typed in how to create a 3D print model. Said you need a CAD drawer. I said, what is a CAD drawer? Found out the definition. I went to Craigslist, literally typed in CAD drawers for hire. Called a bunch of people, found one in my price range, picked up the phone. Hey man, you know what a tennis racket is? Yeah, I want to shrink it. All right, this is what I need from you. I need measurements. Cool. Went to go measure my pocket, 5 inches. Cool. Can't be bigger than 5 1/4, man. How big are the holes? Let me measure the holes real quick. Cool. He does the CAD drawing. I shoot him some bread. Go to Google again. 3D print shops near me. Go to a 3D print shop. Give him the CAD drawing that I got. Give it to the person. He prints it out. He goes, what do you need this for? I'm going to string nylon strings against it. Oh, you need this material so it doesn't break. Great. He prints it out. Google tennis shrinking shops near me. Go to a tennis shrinking shop. Give them this round instrument. Say, hey, I need you to string this for me. Pay him some money. He strings it. Done. Problem solved.
Done, bro. That's amazing, man. That's a dope story. So when was this? So when did you finally get that first product in hand?
November 2016.
So November 2016 is, and we'll go back and get into the meat of the story. Have you had to reiterate the product multiple times, or is that the same product that you created in 2016 that's being sold?
Nah, man. Where is it? Oh.
I got one at the crib too, because I use it.
This is the first comb ever created.
That's it.
That is the first twisted up comb that was ever created.
First and only.
Well, so this one never actually went to market because it's a prototype, right? So then we had the nylon strings that went to market, which was the first one, which is a surgeon. And we sold out. I've only really sold like close to maybe like 4,000 of those.
Okay.
And the problem that I had was that I went to a hair show in Atlanta called Bronner Brothers. Okay. And going to the East Coast was completely different like scenery for me, because out there it was just a story about hair. This is something that they identify. Okay. They love it. And it was just weird to see so many people that look like me, right, but embraced this hairstyle and was proud to wear their hairstyle this way. It was just, I had to take it in, because for the first time, like, I just kind of felt like they weren't pretending, they were just being who they were, versus, like, not saying everyone in the West Coast pretends, but it's just like, it's more natural on the East Coast, if that makes sense.
Right. No.
So I had to figure out a way to sell mass quantities, and swinging a tennis racket wasn't going to work for me. So then I ended up wasting like close to $10,000 experimenting with plastic.
Okay.
And it didn't work too well because it breaks.
Mm.
And then I took a girl out on a date, and we went to Korean barbecue, and I'm looking at the grill, and I'm like, yo, this can work. So I take a photo of it and I send it to my manufacturer, and I say, yo, this Korean barbecue grill, can we get this in smaller sizes for my comb? And he was like, let me see what I can. And then we started mass producing the stainless steel models.
Wow. That's dope, bro. So when did you determine, or when did you decide that you would bring Shark Tank into the mix? And then what was your thinking in terms of going on that show? Often, sometimes you see folks that go on and you can kind of know that they're there for publicity. Sometimes it's, they're out of money. What was the state of your business when you went to Shark Tank?
So I never really wanted to, in the beginning, to make this a full business. Okay. I did it out of a favor to my barber, because my barber threatened to do it himself if I didn't make it a business. And what happened was that December of 2016 is when he said, yo, you got to do the IBS show in Long Beach. So I did the show in Long Beach. We sold out. Did the show in Bronner Brothers in February, sold out. Did a show in New York called BarberCon, which I loved. We sold out. And then April of 2017, we did another show in Connecticut, and sold out in Connecticut. So April of 2017, I decided to turn off the pipe for real estate and mortgages and focus on this as a full-time business.
Okay.
By December of 2017, we have done close to 115,000 in sales, but we didn't really net much because I was traveling to the East Coast for all these hair shows.
Right.
So then come January to March is when I started doing online marketing. And then that's when I started to see the real potential of this. And I had a bottleneck. China had just shut down. And at the time, everything was being made in the US, except for the meshes. They're from China. So there was an importer here in the States that was able to give me it, but I needed to do a larger. I needed to order like 300 meshes at a time. Okay. So that's when I decided that I needed to go on Shark Tank, because I just needed an influx of cash to get this done in-house.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you talked about in terms of going to Shark Tank, you needed an influx of cash. Did you have a specific strategy? I can't remember exactly what the deal was that you offered to the Sharks, but what was your strategy going on?
So they keep you in the dark through the whole process, right? Okay. There's the Sharks, ABC. It's a complete ABC is going to decide whether or not you're going to air. You can get a deal with the Sharks and still not air. It's not called a deal show, right? They have to show that air, that deal, and some that don't. So my to air, because I wanted the publicity. My second focus was that out of the list of sharks that I knew that was going to be there, I knew my best shark was either Mark or Daymond. So I wanted to be able to get either him or Mark, right? Because I knew Robert may have liked it, but he wasn't going to invest in it. I knew Lori was not going to invest in it because she likes things for like the broader audience. Yep. And even if Mr. Wonderful said yes, I just feel like our personalities are not going to click. So I just didn't want to do a deal with him anyway. So it was between Mark or Daymond. And when they both jumped in, it was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Appreciate it, right?
Right.
I wanted to just said yes, because I mean, as an entrepreneur, there's other black people that are, or black entrepreneurs that are doing it big, but like Daymond is kind of like the face,
Yeah.
right? He's in the limelight. He's the one that gets the most publicity. Is someone that, for me, I look up to, because if he can do it, I cannot.
Right. Right.
So it was just extremely humbling to even strike a deal with him. And then Mark is Mark. You get a deal with Mark, he's just happy.
Right. Right. So in that process that you went through, were you a Shark Tank fan prior to going on? So you kind of mentioned the Sharks, kind of what their tendencies were. Were you a Shark Tank fan prior to even thinking about going on there? Or did you start to do your homework as you went through the process to look at these sharks and kind of make those determinations of where you wanted to land?
I was saying, I'm a firm believer that I'm not going to be the most talented, right? I'm not going to be the smartest, but you're not going to outwork me. There's there's no way you're going to outwork me. I'm not married, don't have any other 19. I'm working. There's no way you outworking me, and I'm working efficiently. So when I knew that this was going to be real, all I did was watch Shark Tank's season 1 to season 10, season 9, and just studied every single tendency, what they like, what makes them get a deal, didn't hurt. So I just get to the Q&A.
Got it. So in terms of after the show, after you get the deal, um, you got the deal that you were looking for, you got your cash. What was the next step for you in terms of accelerating the business?
Oh yeah, just to go to work, right? So to quote 7 NFC championship, I didn't come here to get a deal with Shark Tank, right? The deal that wasn't my end game. So when I got the influx, they took a leap and they invested in me. So it's time for me to get them a return on their investment. I need to go to work. I need to show them that it was a good investment and that I wasn't gonna waste their money or their time. And it was time for me to execute.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're moving now, you got the influx of cash. Talk to me about, so since you've started this business, if you could kind of point out maybe one of the most strategic things that you've done that's led to great success in this business, what's kind of that one of the strategic moves that you made that you think was super important to the growth of the company?
A hard question. Um, it's probably a mixture of learning online advertising and being able to have a vision, to clearly write it so that you have execution steps that you must hit on a daily basis, so that every day that if you hit these steps, by the end of the year, you will accomplish your goal.
Got it. So today, are you doing this business 100% full time, or is this a great business, brings income in, but you talked about your love for real estate. Are you juggling multiple things? Or are you 100% twisted up?
So before the Sharks, I was like 150% twisted up. Like I did everything. I did customer relations, I did shipping, I did inventory, I was manufacture process, I did everything. What I have learned going through the Shark Tank process with an online e-commerce business, in order to scale and become $1 million company, you're very, so I was able to plug in key people, key structures that are able to streamline this business, because the majority of our sales are online. And the only thing that I focus on is marketing, right? Marketing, targeting audiences, creating the narrative for the company. Everything else is streamlined. Don't have to worry about it. There's a robot for everything. There's an app that can be downloaded that can take care of this stuff. There's an accountant that takes care of your P&L. So I'm able to only give Twisted Up 4 or 5 hours of my time a day, because I have other things that are there to make it grow, right? You look up Mark that has over 20, 30 companies, and he has his hand in every single pot, but yet he has people in those companies that make it run as an advisor. So learned is how to scale a business. So I took that education, and now I am trying to duplicate it in other things in my life and other businesses. I'm scaling my real estate business. I'm launching a new academy for entrepreneurs, and I'm still scaling Twisted Up. And it has allowed me to create multiple streams of income, which at the end of the day, I thought that's all we want. We want financial freedom.
Got it. So as of today, when you look at the Twisted Up business, how is business done? Is most of it, what percentage is done online? How much are you doing retail right now at this particular point in the company's existence?
So last year we did 1.5. The year before that we did 1.2. So group was incredible because we could have reached 2.5. So as we are constantly innovating ways on how to scale and grow this business and push the narrative that we are actually, because you save money. It's a one-time buy. It's the only comb on the market that fits in your pocket and can be sanitized after every use. That's something that we push very strongly because, you know, we have our IP protected. We do have I guess, a very unique product in the sense that for African Americans, we finally have a way to wear our hair naturally. It is portable across the board in every work area. Not that braids and cornrows and dreadlocks are not. It's just you can go on Google and find a bunch of stories how people are being discriminated against because they have dreadlocks. How people are losing jobs because they have braids. It's really kind of sad that in 2020 or 2019, California became the first state to pass an anti-hair law. New York was the first city, but California was the state.
Wow. That is crazy, bro. That's crazy. So have you dealt with a product like that? Have you had to deal with a lot of knockoffs coming your way, and how have you handled that? Have you tried to go after them since you do have it protected, or have you just kind of continued to outpace them with what you're doing?
Yeah, so we had knockoffs. As we all know, the African American beauty is about 85, 90% Korean owned or owned by Asians. Some type of, it's not owned by us.
Right.
The beauty supply stores, where we buy our products, this is the Asian owned. And I got knocked off. 4 people try to knock me off, or 4, I guess, people try to come in and distribute it to different beauty supply stores. And I tried to ignore it, but I got to the point where I couldn't sleep because it was disturbing just who I was as a person, as a man. So I got on a plane, I flew to New York, got in a car. I actually posted this whole story on YouTube. And I went from New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North and South Carolina, Georgia, flew to Texas, Michigan, back to California, and I collected all the evidence my lawyer needed as far as the knockoffs, invoices, a paper trail that led to the people that were bringing it into America. And we filed a lawsuit against the 4 main distributors and won. I'm very pleased.
That's cold, bro.
Because it's like my child.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So you're a resourceful dude, man, and you're learning a lot, and you're using the tools that's at your disposal to get what you need to get done there. In terms of business mentors, a lot of folks wonder, after the deals are done on Shark Tank, is Daymond and Mark, are they actively mentoring you, or pretty much they funded you, you're kind of on your own, you need to figure it out?
So they're there. They have people that chime in to help you out when you have questions. Mark and Daymond are always there when I need them. But they're like, if I have a question, they're there to respond. In life, you can't buy Apple and then expect to like run Apple, right? You buy Apple because it's a really successful business, and you hope that it continues to success and double on your money. Shark Tank is no different, right? It's
Right.
not like Mark gives me all this money and then he steps in and runs my company. No,
Right.
he's investing in the entrepreneur, investing in your know-how. Now he is there to speed up your learning curve and show you the right way how to get it done and how to scale this business. And you can bounce ideas off him and his team. Same with Daymond, right? That's what they're there for. Give you different businesses approach. But it's your job as an entrepreneur to, once you have their capital, to go out there in the world and show your investment.
Got it. That makes sense. So with where your business is right now, are there any other, so you're pretty much a one product, that you can correct me if I'm wrong, a one product company. Are there other products that you plan to bring out that are kind of still meeting kind of that African American need when it comes to hair and hair care?
Yeah, so we have two different versions of our comb. We have a gel that's launched right now. And then we have two more SKUs that we're probably going to be releasing this year. Um, Again, the goal for me, anyways, is that I'm more about bringing value to my customers, right? This is something that became a passion of mine in the sense that when you choose to wear your hair naturally, you're telling the world to accept you for who you are. This is who I am. You are embracing yourself and you're finding a way to, I guess, really love everything about what makes you you. And it's really inspiring to see the African American women on the East Coast to really embrace the short and natural look, because
Yeah.
it's not something that I see every day on the West Coast.
Right.
And to see them walk around and feel proud and go through the 3-hour routine, because I got sisters, like I understand sleeping pretty and doing your hair the night before and just this whole routine just to fit into a society quote data of what beautiful is. And beautiful comes in all shapes and sizes. And for me, I just don't want to run away from that narrative. So the other two products that we have, it helps improve the twist, but I just want to make sure that we can buy something for the African American women market, especially down this path, to that their hair stay soft and stay enriched with oils and stuff that they need. And it's something that I want to make sure I get it right before I just say buy this.
Got it. That makes sense. So as we get ready to wrap, you talked about this business, this vision of yours being kind of like your baby, right? You've traveled all across the country protecting your intellectual property. Um, what's your goal for the business? Is your goal for the business to scale it to a point where there's some sort of exit and you can sell? And if so, what's that number for you? Where do you think you need to get the business to actually make it attractive? Else wants to buy that brand from you.
I don't know if I want to sell. I don't know if there's a sense for a exit strategy. I'm enjoying this ride. I think it's too early to sell, right? The fact that we are where we are today is impressive. And as an entrepreneur, I just want to challenge myself. No difference than Tom Brady leaving the Patriots and playing for the Bucks. Like, let me see if I can win it without the Patriots, without Bill Belichick, right? Like, I mean, I'm still early in my entrepreneur. I'm only 32, about to be 33. There's so much growth that I've had last 2 years. I want to see how far I can take it, even try to exit it, right? Like, Tom Brady could have retired after 3 rings, and he never would have had 7, right? Like, I want to see how far I can go, how I can push this. And I don't know what that is until I keep on challenging myself and try to innovate and continue to push myself, because whether I make this into a $10 million business or I absolutely kill it and I end up losing everything, it doesn't really matter. It's about the journey, right? It's about that process of trying to get where you want, and that growth that happens between here and there, and what you learn. And I can't put a price on working with Mark's team, Daymond's team, the SharkTank experience, everything that I've learned, the knowledge that is in my head, the stuff that I continue to learn. It's incredible, man, what you can do with this information.
No doubt, brother. Well, man, I really want to give it up to you, Noel. I'm a huge Shark Tank fan, and so I study it. It's like my master's class when I go there. And the same thing, man, I'm looking at what's going on, and super proud of everything that you've been able to put together with your business. And I know it'll grow so much further and so far beyond. And so appreciate you being a guest on Building While Black. Best of luck in the future. And you got my support as long as I still got the baby fro working. So appreciate you, King.
Take care.
All right. For everyone else, we appreciate you all tuning in to the Building While Black podcast. Again, we're here every week for you. We're talking to entrepreneurs early on in their careers, later on in their careers. We just want to talk to entrepreneurs so that if you're an entrepreneur yourself, you can be inspired by the messaging, by the stories, by the journey. And if you're someone who's thinking about starting their own business, you can start to listen to some of these entrepreneurs, and you can start to hear some common themes of they have to learn, they didn't know everything. But most important, you got to get started and believe in what you're doing. And you have to really realize that you're probably going to work much harder building a business than you ever did working a job. But at the end of the day, you're building something for you, you're building something for legacy, and something that can be passed down to your kids. So once again, appreciate you all joining the Building While Black podcast on the Droppin Knowledge Network. Make sure that you are following us on all of our platforms. We do this for the culture. So we're here on Facebook at the Droppin Knowledge Network. We are on Instagram at the Droppin Knowledge Network. We're on YouTube as well. Simply search Droppin Knowledge Podcast or Network. You'll find us there. And we appreciate the support. And until next time, peace.